That time you were running late and missed the train, and you were so angry, so frustrated. Why does this always happen to me? But then you heard on the news that train had an accident. People were injured, and you weren't on it. Or that job you wanted so badly. You interviewed perfectly, you were qualified. But they chose someone else. And you felt crushed, rejected, like a failure. But 6 months later, you heard the company went bankrupt, mass layoffs, chaos, and you weren't part of it. Or that person you were so sure was the one. You wanted it to work so badly, but they left, or it fell apart, and your heart broke. But now, looking back, you see clearly they would have destroyed you. They were wrong for you in ways you couldn't see then. Here's what I'm telling you. Those weren't accidents. Those weren't coincidences. Those weren't just bad luck. Those were warnings from Allah. He was protecting you, redirecting you, saving you from something you couldn't see coming, and you didn't even notice. Allah doesn't always speak in loud, obvious ways. Sometimes His warnings are subtle, quiet, easy to miss if you're not paying attention. Let me show you what His warnings look like. The delay. You're rushing to get somewhere and everything goes wrong. You can't find your keys. Traffic is bad. You hit every red light. You think, this is so frustrating. But maybe Allah is slowing you down to protect you from something ahead, the door that won't open. You try so hard to make something happen, a job, a relationship, a move. But no matter what you do, the door stays closed. You think, why is this so hard? But maybe Allah is blocking that path because it leads somewhere harmful. The uncomfortable feeling. You're about to do something and you feel uneasy, a pit in your stomach, a voice in your head saying, don't. But you ignore it because it doesn't make sense logically. That feeling? That's Allah warning you through your fitra, your natural instinct, the repeated obstacle. The same problem keeps happening. You keep trying the same path and it keeps failing. You think, I'm cursed, nothing works for me. But maybe Allah is saying, stop, this isn't your path. Turn around. The sudden loss. You lose something, a person, a job, a thing, and it devastates you. But months or years later you realize, losing that made room for something better. Allah took it to give you something you actually needed. The close call. You almost got in an accident but didn't. You almost made a terrible decision but something stopped you. You almost went down a dangerous path but got redirected. That almost? That was Allah's hand pulling you back. The person who warns you. Someone, a parent, a friend, even a stranger, tells you, don't do this, I have a bad feeling. And you dismiss them, but later you realize Allah sent them to warn you and you didn't listen. How many of these have you experienced? How many signs did you miss? So if Allah has been warning us, why don't we see it? Because we're too focused on what we want. We want that job so badly, we can't see it's wrong for us. We want that person so badly, we ignore the red flags. We're blinded by our desires because we think we know better. We have a plan. We think we know what's good for us. So when Allah redirects us, we fight it. We resist. We think, no, this is what I need. But we don't know what we don't know because we're impatient. We want things now. We don't want to wait. So when Allah delays something, we think He's withholding. We don't realize He's protecting because we call blessings bad luck. When something doesn't go our way, we immediately label it negative. We don't stop to think, maybe this is good for me in ways I can't see yet, because we're not spiritually attuned. When you're disconnected from Allah, you can't hear His guidance. You can't feel His nudges. You can't recognize His hand in your life. The warnings are there, but you're not tuned in to receive them. Because Shaitan distracts us. He makes the harmful look appealing. He makes the warning look like a setback. He makes you doubt and second guess. So you miss what's right in front of you. Allah says in the Quran, but perhaps you hate a thing and it is good for you, and perhaps you love a thing and it is bad for you, and Allah knows while you know not. 2:216. Read that again. The thing you hate, The rejection, the delay, the loss might be good for you. The thing you love, the person, the job, the path, might be bad for you. You don't know. But Allah knows, and He's constantly steering you away from harm and toward good. But most of the time you're fighting Him, resisting, complaining. Allah also says, "And whoever fears Allah, He will make for him a way out, and will provide for him from where he does not expect." 65:2-3. When you have taqwa, awareness of Allah, consciousness of Him, you start to see the signs. You start to trust the process. You start to recognize His hand in everything. The warnings become clear. The protection becomes obvious. The wisdom becomes visible. The warnings you're getting right now. Let me ask you something. What's not working in your life right now? What door keeps closing no matter how hard you push? What relationship keeps failing no matter how hard you try? What path keeps getting blocked no matter how much you want it? Stop for a second and consider, what if that's not a problem? What if that's a warning? What if Allah is saying, "I know you want this, but I love you too much to give it to you. Because I see what you don't see, I know how this ends, and I'm protecting you." Maybe that job that rejected you would have drained your soul. Maybe that person who left you would have broken you in ways you can't imagine. Maybe that opportunity that fell through would have led you somewhere dark. Maybe Allah is saving you from a version of your life that you wouldn't survive. Have you considered that? So how do you start seeing the signs? How do you recognize when Allah is warning you? 1. Pray istikhara. Before making big decisions, pray salat al-istikhara. Ask Allah, if this is good for me, make it easy. If it's bad for me, take it away and give me peace about it. Then trust the outcome. 2. Pay attention to how things flow. If something is meant for you, it will have flow. It might have challenges, but there will be movement, progress, openings. If something isn't meant for you, it will feel like pushing a boulder uphill. Everything will be difficult, blocked, forced. 3. Listen to your gut. That uncomfortable feeling isn't random. That's your fitra, your natural God-given instinct, warning you. Don't ignore it just because you can't explain it. 4. Look for patterns. If the same problem keeps happening, stop blaming circumstances and ask, what is Allah trying to tell me? What lesson am I not learning? 5. Check your emotions. If pursuing something makes you anxious, restless, conflicted, pay attention. Peace is a sign from Allah. Chaos is often a warning. 6. Consult righteous people. Talk to people who have taqwa, wisdom, and your best interest at heart. Sometimes Allah sends warnings through the mouths of people who care about you. 7. Read the Quran. Ask Allah to guide you, then open the Quran. Sometimes the answer you need is right there on the page. 8. Make dua for clarity. Ya Allah, if this is good for me, make it clear. If it's bad for me, remove it from my heart and my path. 9. Look back at your life. See the times when things didn't go your way. Now, looking back, can you see how Allah was protecting you? Let that build your trust for the future. Here's the hard truth. Allah will warn you, but He won't force you. If you ignore the warnings, if you push through despite the signs, He'll let you. Free will means you can choose the wrong path even when He's showing you it's wrong. And sometimes people do. They ignore the red flags. They push through the closed doors. They force what isn't meant for them. And then they suffer the consequences. The relationship they forced becomes toxic. The job they fought for becomes a nightmare. The path they insisted on leads to regret. And then they say, why did Allah let this happen to me? But He didn't let it happen. He warned you. You didn't listen. This isn't to shame you. It's to wake you up. If you're in a situation right now that feels wrong, that you forced despite the signs, it's not too late. You can still turn back. Make tawbah. Ask Allah to guide you to the right path. And this time, listen. The mercy in the warnings. Here's what you need to understand. Every warning is an act of love. Think about it. Allah could just let you walk into disaster. He could let you make terrible choices and face the consequences without any heads up. But He doesn't. He sends signs, obstacles, delays, uncomfortable feelings, people to warn you, doors that close. All of it is mercy. He's saying, I see what's coming, and I care about you too much to let you walk into it blindly. So I'm going to make this hard. I'm going to block this path. Hey, because I'm protecting you. That's not cruelty. That's love. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said, Amazing is the affair of the believer. Verily, all of his affairs are good for him. If something good happens to him, he is grateful, and that is good for him. If something bad happens to him, he is patient, and that is good for him. Even the bad is good because it's from Allah, and Allah only wants good for you. From today forward, I want you to do something. Pay attention. When something doesn't go your way, instead of immediately getting angry or frustrated, pause. Ask, what is Allah protecting me from? What is He trying to tell me? When a door closes, instead of forcing it open, ask, is this a sign to go a different direction? When you feel uneasy about something, instead of ignoring it, ask, is this Allah warning me? Train yourself to see His hand in everything, the good and the bad, the open doors and the closed ones, the yeses and the nos. All of it is guidance. All of it is protection. All of it is from a Lord who loves you more than you love yourself. Trust the process. I know it's hard. You want that thing so badly, and Allah keeps blocking it. You don't understand why. It doesn't make sense. It hurts. But trust Him. Trust that He sees the full picture. Trust that He knows what you don't. Trust that His plan is better than yours. One day, maybe tomorrow, maybe in years, you'll look back and say, Subhanallah, Allah was protecting me. I didn't see it then, but I see it now. And I'm so grateful He didn't give me what I wanted, because what He gave me instead was so much better. That day will come, I promise, but only if you start trusting now. Ya Allah, open our eyes to see Your signs. Open our hearts to trust Your wisdom. When You close a door, help us accept it with grace. When You warn us, help us listen. When You redirect us, help us follow. Give us the strength to let go of what isn't meant for us, and the patience to wait for what is. We know You see what we don't. We know You want what's best for us. Help us trust You even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. Ameen.